guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. Today I am gonna be doing a story time. Before we get into this video though, I do want to ask you guys to please subscribe to my channel, turn on your post notifications, and give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, let's get into this video. As you can see from the title, I am going to be talking about my birth story with my first baby, which is Nathan. If you guys have been following me for a while, you guys know that I have a 5-year-old son, and I cannot believe that I haven't told you guys this story before. Just recently, one of you guys left a comment and was like, hey, you never told us about Nathan's like labor and delivery, you know. And I was like, how did I not tell you guys? Since obviously, you know, I didn't do YouTube back then, I didn't record it for this baby. I of course am gonna be recording the labor and delivery. You know, I'm not gonna be recording down there, but you know, I'm gonna be keeping you guys updated on the day, and I'm gonna be vlogging what happens. So obviously, you know, before with Nathan, I didn't have that, so I didn't have any footage of it, but I am able to tell you guys a story about what happened that day. So I have my little drink here. As you guys know, I have been obsessed with strawberry refreshers, and I wanted to try something different, and I asked for a tall. I went to Starbucks and I was like, can I get a tall? They gave me a Trenta or Trenti, I don't know how you say it. They gave me this, you guys, and they didn't charge me for it, like the size upgrade. They just charged me for a tall because it was their mistake. But I was like, I wish you guys could have made the mistake with a strawberry refresher, like the strawberry acai. That one is my favorite, but it's fine. I mean, I get to try something new, and it was like a free size upgrade. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about the day that I gave birth to my son. So I want to talk a little bit about like what happened prior to this day. So I had Nathan on a Friday, and so, oh, and by the way, it is what you're thinking. I am wearing a crop top. I'm not gonna go out in public like this. I just wore it for the video. But so that the week prior to me giving birth to him was on Sunday. I started getting the Braxton Hicks, and I started getting contractions. I of course knew the drill. Like, I knew that, you know, you can't go to the hospital unless they're like 5 minutes apart, things like that. So I was getting them, and they were like every 15 minutes. Like, they were very far apart for me to like run to the hospital. So I was like, you know what, Sergio, like, we used to live in front of a park, so I'm like, let's go to like the park. Like, there was a 7-Eleven. I'm like, let's go to the 7-Eleven, walk back, and let's see, like, hopefully, you know, I go into labor. By the way, my body was already ready to go into labor. I knew kind of that was coming because I was 39 weeks and 6 days when I gave birth to Nathan. So I was like about 39 weeks on that Sunday. You know, we ended up going to the store, and then my contractions just went away. I didn't get them anymore until that. On that day, on Friday, I was, like I said, I was 39 and 6 weeks. I was about to turn 40 weeks on November 1st. So on the 31st, I woke up, and every single day, I still do this. Sergio always goes into work really early, and he used to go into work, he went into work at 6, but he used to work in LA back then. So if you guys know that there's a lot of traffic in the morning, so he would leave like at 4:30. Somebody would pick him up, and then they would like carpool together to work. So just really early, you know, I would wake up, and then I would pack his lunch. I don't understand how people say like they make their husband's lunch. They make it on the same morning. Like, I don't understand, you know. I am not able to do that because, like, if I were to make him his lunch, it takes me like 1 or 2 hours to make something, you know. Sometimes it just depends on what I'm cooking. So I don't know. Leave a comment down below if you guys are the ones that make your husband's lunch, like cook it. Like I said, I don't do that. I just like whatever we eat. Like today, I pack his lunch for tomorrow, and in the morning I'll just wake up and put it in his lunchera, and then that's what he eats for lunch. And so I have always been doing that since my son is 5. So it was like 6 years ago that I would, I would do that. So, I woke up and it was 4 in the morning. I was packing his lunch, and I remember I went to use the restroom, came back, he left, and I remember I went back to lay down because I would just go back to sleep. And when I went back to sleep, I started feeling the pain. Like as soon as he left, I started feeling pain. Like I couldn't even go back to sleep because the pain was there. But in my mind, I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. Like, I'm not going to tell him, like, hey, stay, and then for him to stay home from work and then let it be a false alarm again, So I was like, okay, I'm just going to see how it goes, and then hopefully, I kind of knew the drill. Like in my head, you prepare for this day for so long, all of your 9 months of pregnancy, and then until you're there, it's so different because you can never plan for something that you don't know what to expect, So, but I kind of had a plan in my head. I was like, okay, if this happens, whatever. So, they had always told me, at least my tias, my mom, they would tell me like, okay, take a shower, do this, do that. So I was like, okay, keep calm. My contractions started getting closer and closer together. They started off at like 10 minutes. And I was like, no, I'm going to wait till they're 5 minutes, because I think that's what my doctor had told me. But I had went in for my last appointment the day prior. So, I don't know if you guys know, but they check I think they check your cervix. But they check you down there to see if you're dilated. And a lot of the times, that will cause like your cervix to contract. So I have a feeling like the doctor, since she checked, I have a feeling that that's why I started contracting the next day. I was like, okay, it's time for me to take a shower, because if my contractions get worse and worse, I want to be able to be clean and head to the doctor and just be showered, because you're about to have something come out of there. So so I was in the shower. I jumped in the shower. By the way, if you guys didn't know, I was living at Sergio's mom's house. And I had just moved in there like a month prior to my labor. So I was not like fully comfortable, or I wasn't like super like best friends, I was just like still shy, still trying to get comfortable in the house. And so I jumped in the shower, and it was really early, obviously it was like 5 in the morning and everybody was sleeping. So as I'm taking a shower, I'm making sure to like wash my body, but I still had the pain. When I would get the pain, I would just like hold on to, like, I would just stop doing everything and I would just hold on to something. And then I try to take a shower as fast as I could, just because I knew that, I can't just be taking my time when at any minute, what if, I don't know, my water breaks or an emergency happens where I have to like rush to the hospital, So I was like, trying to like take a shower as fast as I could. And the pain kept getting worse in the shower too, just because it just kept on getting worse, and my contractions kept on getting stronger and stronger and closer together. So when I was in the shower, I was like, okay, I think it's time, like I think it's gonna happen. So before I jumped in the shower, forgot to tell you guys that my tia had recommended for me to drink, to make myself un té de canela. And that, because, I don't know if you guys knew this, but you're not allowed to drink hot teas, like, when you're pregnant. You're not allowed to, because it can cause an abortion. It can cause for the baby to, like, come. So that was kind of like, not an abortion, I wasn't trying to cause an abortion, but that was kind of like what I was trying to do. I was trying to get this baby to get out. So, while I was in the shower, I just put some canela and some water to boil. That way when I got out, my té was ready, and, the baby can come faster. So I took my shower, I got out, and again, I was in so much pain, I couldn't even change. I couldn't even put my hair up, I couldn't brush it because it was just too extreme. So I kept timing it. I sat like to drink my hot, I got dressed and everything. I would get dressed in the shower, in the restroom, obviously, because I couldn't come out naked. So, as soon as I got dressed and everything, I went to sit down in the kitchen, and there was like a clock there. And I remember just sitting there and like, just like knowing, okay, in a minute, another contraction's gonna come, and exactly in a minute it would come, exactly 5 minutes. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna call my mom. My mom would always, like, she would wake up at 6 to like start getting ready for work. So I was like, she has to be up now. So by this point it was already 6 in the morning, and like I was already, like, my contractions were still staying the same, you know, but I, like, again, I wanted to be sure that I was gonna be able to stay at the hospital and that my contractions were real this time. So, you know, I called my mom and I was like, yeah, es tiempo, like, it's time. And she's like, not believing me. She's like, I will tell me, like, in a little bit if you still have them, because, you know, whatever. So I was like, all right. You know, I called her back like 30 minutes after, and I was like, they're not going away. Like, I've been having them for an hour. Come pick me up, whatever. She's like, okay. She told me too, she's like, call me right before I leave the house, because she will leave the house at 7 a.m. to go to work. And, you know, I was like, okay. Well, I called her like at 6:30, and I was like, they're not going away. You're not going to be able to go to work. Like, just take me to the hospital. She's like, okay, I'm going. So as I'm drinking my tea, you know, I getting drinking my tea. I drank like 16 ounces of the tea, and I was like, my mom's gonna come pick me up right now. I couldn't, at this point I was in so much pain, I could barely walk. I needed help. So Sergio's mom was there, and then my mom came, and they were trying to help me, like, get my stuff, you know, because obviously, you know, you have your hospital bag ready, but, you know, just extra little things like my phone or like my charger, you know, little things that I needed. They were trying to, like, help me, and I couldn't really walk, so, because it was just so painful. So, you know, I'm heading to the doctor, and as I'm going, you guys, it was like 7:30-ish, like, yeah, like around 7:30, and we got on the freeway from Pomona to Bowen Park. I gave birth to Nathan at Kaiser in Bowen Park, and oh my god, you guys, the pain and la desesperación que sientes, like, because you're just sitting in a car and there's traffic, like, oh my god, it's like the most horrible feeling in the world. I just remember, like, being so, like, oh my god, like, I'm never gonna get there. So by this point, you know, I had called Sergio already, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to the hospital, like, I think it's happening today. And he's like, okay, well, let me know if, like, what happens, like, let me know. But I'm like, you know what, don't get off of work yet. I just want to be sure that, you know, they're gonna let me stay. That way you don't have to drive all the way from LA and, like, miss the entire day of work, you know. So I'm like, just give me some time, especially because Bowen Park and LA are not that far. They're like, without traffic, it's like 20-30 minutes. It's really not too far. So I was like, you know, just stay at work right now, and then my mom is with me, it's fine. I'll let you know what happens. So that was the plan. I got to the hospital, and literally, you guys, I was in so much pain that, like, a doctor saw me. There was 2 doctors walking, and, like, I kept on stopping, because I was like, you know, when you get a contraction, it just freaking hurts like hell. So I kept on stopping. Like, I just remember, like, at this point my contractions were like 3 minutes apart, and I just remember stopping and, like, holding on to something, and just, like, and I remember, like, I was already crying, like, because of the pain. It was just so unbearable. And the doctor saw me. They're like, get her a wheelchair. Like, everybody was, like, you know, and everybody was, like, staring at me, and they got me a wheelchair, and they're like, go on. Like, they made my mom push me. My mom pushed me to the, but I wasn't even comfortable in the wheelchair. Like, the wheelchair did not make me feel better. I was like, you know what, I just sat down for like an hour in traffic. Like, I don't know, I do not want to be sitting down on a freaking wheelchair. So I kept on, like, standing up, sitting down, standing up, sitting down, because we were trying to get to, like, the delivery, like, the women's place. So I'm, like, in so much pain. I check in or whatever, and they're like, okay, well, if you guys didn't know, they do ask you some stupid ass, like, some questions that they should already know, that they know, like, what's your name, how old are you, what's your height, how much do you weigh, like, things like that that you could have, they know, they have a record of every time you go to the hospital, you know. But I don't know why they ask those questions. Maybe, I think, to make sure that you're, like, not passing out or something. But I don't know, they just start asking you all these questions that get you in a bad mood because you're in so much pain, and you're just like, stop asking me. Like, I just want to have some medicine, you know? So at this point, she checks me. She checks me and she's like, okay, you're 5 centimeters dilated. Like, I was already from like 4 or 5 in the morning till I got to the hospital like around 8. I was 5 centimeters. So all I needed was 5 more. And she's like, do you want the epidural? And I was like, hell yes, give me the fucking epidural. She's like, okay, we're gonna get a room for you, and you know, we're gonna give it to you. So, you know, I waited like about like 30 minutes for everything to set up, because they have to set you up with like, they have to put the IV and everything like that. And then I think that's after the guy comes in and he puts the epidural on you. So once I got the epidural, they told me, okay, well, you know, you're expected to have the baby around like, I think they told me like 12. And I was like, okay. I didn't really care, because I was like, whatever. Like, I'm already resting because I wasn't in pain anymore because I had got the epidural. So I was like, okay, well, I'll tell Sergio, like, he has time. So I'm like, let me just tell him to get off of work because I'm staying in the hospital. They told me, like, you're staying. So I call him and I'm like, yes, I come. So his friend, the one that he would carpool with, he got off of work with him because he was his ride, and he dropped him off at the hospital. And yeah, Sergio was there. He got there and I was fine. Like, he didn't see me in pain because I had already got the epidural, you know. So he didn't see me in pain, and everything was going well. Like, I was opening fine. I was opening kind of quickly. I mean, compared to like a lot of people, I know some people are in labor for like 48 hours, you know. So I was opening okay, not super fast either, but around, I think 10 a.m. I stopped opening. Like, yeah, around 10 a.m. they were like checking me, and they're like, oh, you stopped opening, like, you know, we're gonna have to give you the Pitocin. So Pitocin is something that they do to induce labor. So when they gave me the Pitocin, you guys, I was in pain. Like, obviously you're gonna be in pain because you're opening, but to have it induced, it's just like 10 times worse. To top it off, I didn't know that the epidural was gonna wear off. So from 10 a.m. to like, it was like from 10 to 2 p.m. My epidural, well, I got to the hospital at 8. So I got the epidural like at 8. From 8 to 12, it was working. After 12, you guys, no, from 8 to like 2, because I was only in pain like after that, like 2 more hours. From 8 to 2 p.m. I was in so much pain. I mean, I was fine because the epidural was still working. After 2 is when it wore off, you guys. It just wore off, and I started feeling everything. Like, why didn't anyone tell me that it wears off? Like, and you know, they gave me like a little button to keep pushing, and they're like, okay, well, if you need more, you know, keep pushing it. I was like, okay. So I freaking ran out. There was like the button, I would push it, nothing would come out. Like nothing. I would still feel, I started feeling everything. So, you know, I started getting scared because I was like, oh my god, like, this hurts so bad. I know a lot of people say like they feel their legs super heavy. I felt like my legs were fine, like, you know. And so I didn't know I could ask for more. A lot of people would tell me like, you could have asked for more, and I'm just like, I didn't know. Like, I thought they just gave you 1 dose and that's it. So I ended up opening slowly but surely. I ended up giving birth to him at 5:30 p.m. So I was in labor for about 12 hours. Yeah, like about 9 hours. But if we're counting like the time when I was like at home, it was like 13 hours, you know. So, you know, everything was fine, thankfully. He came out like a healthy little baby, but, you know, I just had a very painful experience. He measured 19 inches Yeah, 19 inches. It's inches, right? Yeah, inches. And then he weighed 6 pounds 9 ounces. So he was a small little baby, and he was very healthy, and he didn't cry. I didn't cry. I don't know, I just felt like it's just so different when you're a first time mom and you're meeting your baby. Like, oh shit, like you just don't know what to expect, you know. I thought I was gonna cry, but I was just in shock. And yeah, I mean, that's what happened that day of my labor, and everything was fine. He did end up tearing me, so they had to sew me. They didn't cut me. He tore me like with his head down there. And if you guys have ever experienced that pain, it just hurts so bad. I heard that when they tear you, it's worse than when they cut you, because the doctor kind of calculates how to cut you, rather than when it's a baby. Like when the baby cuts you, it's like the tear goes everywhere, you know, and it just hurts. And it would hurt for me to sit down, and it would hurt for me to like laugh, you know. It was very painful. But I mean, I guess that's things that happen. Yeah, you guys, I mean, that's it. That's what happened for my labor and delivery. If you guys want any more info on what happened that day, or maybe I missed some details, let me know. But I mean, I feel like I covered everything. And yeah, you guys, I mean, I think that's gonna be it for this story time. I am excited to share this with you guys because I couldn't believe that I hadn't shared it with you. And I'm looking forward to vlogging this delivery, labor and delivery. And I think that's gonna be it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to give me a like, subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you guys next time.